Good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon. I want to thank you guys for tuning in to Up Close and Personal with Angela on behalf of Aspiring Authors Magazine. Today I have author Emanuel Grimes with me on today. He's going to be sharing his journey in becoming an author. For those that do not know who I am Angela Thomas Smith. I am the founder of AALAC, which is the African American Author Literacy Awareness Campaign, bringing awareness to brown authors all over the world. I am also the CEO of Aspiring Authors Magazine, where we're bridging the gap between brown authors all over the world, providing a platform for them to be highlighted and showcased. And we're touching on topics that's affecting our brown community, such as social injustice, depression, suicide awareness, domestic violence, and various other topics that's affecting our brown community. So if you have not checked out the magazine, please go over to the magazine page and follow and like us and share us. So without further ado, I'm going to bring up my guest for today, and it is author Emanuel Grimes. Hello, hello, hello. How are you today?
Doing good. Sun out. It's a good day. It's a good day.
Amen, amen. Well, I am super excited to have you on. I know you are a first time author, a newly released author during this pandemic. So you are definitely an inspiration to those that um, wanted to produce a book and have not done it yet. So you are definitely an inspiration to those to let them know that it can be done during this pandemic. God is still moving and providing opportunities. So I applaud you for stepping out on faith and getting this book done. So I would love for you to share today just a little bit about who you are and about your book.
Okay, my name is Emanuel Grimes. As she said, I am. I'm a. I am a person that had a interesting background, an interesting past growing up. I work in the schools where I deal with kids that come from disadvantaged backgrounds. And me coming from the same background, I get to see the steps that they're making and the mistakes that they're making. And I see it as when I was their age. And my whole thing is I want to stop them from doing everything that happened when I was their age from happening to them that happened to me or my friends. So what I'm saying is when I was younger, all we needed was guidance or a little leadership to help a lot of young men prosper into grow into being prosperous young men. But if you don't have leadership, you don't have guidance, you haven't seen a better way to do things, a better way to live, you will only be subjected to the things you see in your environment, your neighborhood, which is guns, violence, crime, uh, basically neighborhoods with no hope, no vision. You don't have a reason to do better than what you're doing because you haven't seen better. So what inspired me to write the book is honestly I always talk to kids all to every school I go to when I'm out in the public, when I visit community centers. I talk to kids and try to encourage them and let them know the ways of life and how they can be successful in life. And I got tired of just saying it. A lot of the kids are listening, but they don't have something to take with them. They don't have a pamphlet. They don't have a video. They don't have anything to take with them. So I said, you know what? I got all this knowledge and I got all this inspiration. Let me just go ahead and write a book about it. Therefore, I won't have to talk anymore. I want to continue to talk, but if I can't talk, somebody gonna tell somebody about this book that I got for these young men. The book is called The Black Youth Manual. So whatever youth read this, I guarantee they're gonna tell another youth and another youth, and it's gonna be a book where you need to read this, man. This helped me out a lot. I talk about everything from education to uh growing up in poverty and how to defeat it, obstacles you're gonna face, and the best ways that you can, get out the situation. So, um, and then it's one story. I started writing the book in January because I always thought about writing a book since last year, but January made me really zone into it because before we left from school where I'm at, police officers came and visited our school for career day, and I had a couple of the young guys there. Yeah, the school is predominantly black, and we had some white officers. And this is the chance where I was like, oh, we could kind of bridge a gap right here. The police can see what's really going on in the black community, and the black community can see how police interact and think and what's going on. So we come to some medium here. Well, one of the students asked one of the police officers, like, so if I was in Family Dollar and I ran with some stuff, you think you could catch me? And I'm just like, wow, wow. Then another student asked, so if I was in a car with somebody and and somebody stabbed them, but I was there, but I ain't do it, would I get charged? My mind was just, I was about to go crazy. I was mad at the question they was asking, but I was even more frustrated with the lack of knowledge that they have in what the question they were asking was a whole mind frame. That's a poverty. That's the whole poverty, not having cat and mouse game. That mentality you get when you live in the city, when you live in these depressed communities. It's always like it's us against them, and these kids will bring it to the police officers, and then I just realized, like, I know why they ask these questions. The questions do sound crazy to people, but I know where that mentality comes from. Once again, I remember when I was younger and I was like, the questions they asking, yes, it's crazy to me as an adult, but when I was a kid, I get exactly how these questions came about because they see the police as enemies and the police see them as enemies. So I immediately said, okay, my class, let's go. I lined them up and I took them to class and I gave them a big, I know you want to come back in, don't you?
No, I just want, I mean, you're touching on some powerful things. I mean, you really are. You're touching on some powerful things. And you touched on something, we are affected by our environment.
Yeah.
A lot of what we do and what we take on is a product of our direct environment. And,
Mm-hmm.
as a child, we can't control our environment. We can't control our environment until most of the time when we're 21, or
Mm-hmm.
in some cases when we're 18, when we're old enough to say, okay, now I want to do better. But like you say, at some point, there has to be a way to input into these kids morals, values that they're not getting. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Instill these things in them. Like you say, you can't be everywhere. And
Yeah.
you touched on some powerful things, and you wanted to leave something with these kids that they could, you know have when you're not there,
Mm-hmm.
to share with them. And a lot of people really need to hear this. I mean, they need to hear this. So I'm glad that you came on today and shared. That's all I want to say. I didn't want to butt in, but
Oh, that's fine. You fine. Well, to finish that last statement, man. Um, to finish the last statement, what I did, I told the kids, I said, so I asked them, who, raise your hand if you think you had a good question. None of them raised their hands because they know me. Like, they know what was happening when I made them all leave. I'm like, okay. Uh, it was one good question, but it didn't come from my class. But I was like, so I pointed to one of the kids. I'm like, that question you asked police officer about if you ran for Family Dollar, would they be able to catch you? I was like, why you ask that? I don't know, man. I was like, so that same officer right there, if he see you outside, the only thing he'll remember about you is that you said, do you think you can catch me if I'm stealing something? And I said, he has no reason to look out for you. He has no reason to feel compassion about you. You already just told him that you committed crimes and you think he a joke. I'm like, that's what image you just gave him. Why you thought that was
yeah,
funny, that's what you just gave him. You just gave him another reason to act exactly the way they acted right now in life. I'm like, why is that funny to you? I'm getting on all of them. I'm like, why couldn't you be like, ask him something polite? So you like, oh, I'm not really used to kids, I'm gonna say black kids being polite and actually asking one to know more about the job, want to know about me and what makes you feel like I want you to leave some type of good impression because I know you got the mentality that they against us and I'm a grown up and I feel the same way too. But like this could at least be a chance for him to see a different light than what he already been predisposed to expect. Like, oh, y'all are criminals, so that's what it is. Now he came here to talk to some kids, and what you give them? Oh, y'all all criminals still. Oh, like I'm like, I can't be doing that, man. I'm like, y'all think it's a game, man. But then I talk to him, and I'm like, you know what? I could talk all day, and I could say stuff and be in my emotions and not get my point across. I'm gonna write the book and I'm gonna spell it out for everybody, and that's what I did. I told a lot of kids, y'all act the way y'all act. It's not y'all fault, honestly. It's not y'all fault. y'all don't know much, you haven't been exposed to much, and that's why y'all put out these actions and behaviors. I'm not gonna blame it completely on y'all. But once you read this book and you realize that, dude, so you was here too, and you would never expect I'm the person that was just like y'all. But you know, when I read through, I'm like, but this happened. I went to this school. I learned this from that teacher. I started learning about. I started learning. Man, I'm talking about the book too much. It's in the book. It's so much. It's so much in the book that helps. And it's not for just youth. You, as I'm talking about the young black men growing up, there's different. There's definitely different people that play a part in that. Parents, cousins, neighborhoods, the stores, everybody will find a part in about how, oh man, well, if he said that, you as a parent will have to look like, well, the only reason he said that because he went to that place. Well, that was my fault because I let like it brings out everything. Like it's talk about the child life, but who house is the child in? Who is the child around?
Yeah.
When
The
has the child
company.
been exposed to anything different? So
Yes.
it's talking about the kid, but you will definitely pull yourself in somewhere. Like any like people, even
Yeah.
other races, and be like, well, shoot, well, all I knew is what I saw, and what you saw is like, yeah, and that's telling you how ignorant you may have been,
People don't realize that everybody plays a major part in everybody's life. We're all connected in some way, shape, or form throughout this day. No matter if it's intentional or unintentional,
Mm-hmm.
we're connected in some way throughout this day. You know, we can look back on a couple of days ago and we can think about something and we can remember who was where we were, you
Mm-hmm.
know, and we can come back across these people years down the line and realize where we met them at the first time. Like Facebook got this thing where it constantly reminding you of your past 4 years
Mm-hmm.
ago, 7 years ago, 8 years ago. And sometimes you don't realize that you've been knowing this person all this time and the impact that this person has had on your life, whether it was intentional or unintentional. So what you're saying is exactly is on point. I mean, it's on point. It is correct.
Appreciate it.
It is
Yeah.
on point. I tell you, whoever is watching this live, I know that they're going to be encouraged. If you want to pick up this book, the Amazon link is posted right there in the screen. It's up on the screen. You can pick up a copy of this book. If he has the book, I want him to
Oh,
show you what the book looks like,
oh
and
yeah.
we're going to get him to read an insert from the book. I like for you
An
to actually
insert.
share
Ooh.
something from the
Oh
book so
man.
people can actually know exactly what they're going to be getting.
So this is the book. I took a lot of. I like my cover. It look. My name is Emanuel Grimes. My middle name is Moses. So clearly, I get the religious thing going on there. So this is the book. It's called the Black Youth Manual. To me, it looks like a Bible a little bit. It's got to feel like a Bible a little bit, but it's a manual and it's for the youth. And I'm gonna just kind of give y'all a little glimpse of the chapter. So chapter one is like who's poor, not me. Tells you about the neighborhoods, gang culture, education, the foods you consume, the mentality you take on, all this, all those aspects that the way you approach any of those aspects is because of your whole culture. So food, well, eating healthy is not really, you can't really eat healthy because it costs and you're just trying to survive it most times. So that leads you to eating unhealthy foods. I talk about how that's more of a, that's not a choice that you choose. It's what we have to do, you know. Then I got a chapter about okay, what about the police, which is a very intense chapter. Matter of fact, I will read a little excerpt from that because I think that's the basis of my whole. I I started writing this book in January and it came out in May. This was right. This is a month before the George Floyd, Ahmaud Arbery killings. It's like I had it right here. I wish I just had this. This book touches on so much stuff that has to do with that. But I want to read out an excerpt from the my man. Look at me. I gotta go to the page. I like this book, y'all. It got a lot going on. Every time I read it, it makes me go back to I wrote the book. When I go back, it's like, man, I know why you put that there. It makes me reflect on my own life a little bit. This is my life, but it makes me reflect like that must have really meant something to you, didn't it, Moses? You didn't, bro. Okay, so uh, man, okay.
So I know.
Okay,
Are you working on something else? Because I know
it's
it
too
has to
much in
be
here to
something
read.
else in the work. It has to be something else in the works.
Oh, this?
Are you
Yeah,
working on something else?
I am working on what I'm gonna work on next. Like I got a lot of ideas, but which one means the most right now? This meant the most because I'm like I work with kids and they is what really they who really need me right now. They are the future. They're what's important. Uh,
So can I ask you a question about the book
yeah,
before you read
yeah.
the insert? So in the book, do you have like exercises for them to do?
This is a book.
Or it just more like you explaining stuff and um giving details?
It's more of a experience.
So can I throw something out there to you?
Yeah,
You should get a
excerpts. Go
you,
ahead.
you should get a workbook to go along with that. That would be hot.
It, I'm in a process of it.
That would be hot.
My
That
my
that that would be so amazing because that will give readers the opportunity to have something to go along with that as they going through these different chapters and reading. They can actually flow along with activities that you're sharing with them, insight. They can jot down stuff. They can go into depth. Then once they're finished with it, they can go back and read over what they wrote and how they felt while they was reading this book. That would be good. That would be awesome.
I'm trying to look for an excerpt, and everything's just so heavy. I gotta read the whole paragraph. Like it ain't no. It's just. Oh, man,
I'm saying you got time.
I got to. Um.
Or you can
Let.
read your back cover if you want to.
Okay.
I'm sure that is intriguing.
Yeah. I almost said that in my thing. I'm gonna read the part that I. This is a part that I dedicated to parents and educators. So it was like it's my opinion. It doesn't have to be taken for sure, but well, before I say that, let me read my back cover. Emanuel Grimes was born and raised in St. Louis. He's a um, first generation college graduate who interested in sociological differences in communities inspired him to dive deeper to gain understanding. Growing up as a young black male, he wished he had been schooled on obstacles life was going to throw at him and how to handle them. He wished for guidance and truth. With more than a decade of experience mentoring and working with youth, he has taken it upon himself to be that person for other young brothers. So, more than a decade of working with youth, black youth, also being one of them. Secondly, through his roles at the Oklahoma Juvenile Detention Center as an officer and as a youth specialist at the Division of Youth Services, he has come to learn about many of these young men and their stories. So, when I give my opinion on what I think is best for these young guys, it comes from me being a young black male, me working with young black men in group homes, in juveniles, everywhere that they in schools, everywhere they be. It's not random. Like this is it. You cannot take the advice, but guarantee you need to. And I'm saying that. So, with that being said, let me read my. I won't read the whole chapter, but I'll give you a little bit of it. It's just something I wanted educators to know. Black or white doesn't matter. One thing I learned is if you don't have a relationship with students, you won't get anywhere. If you don't have a relationship with people, you won't get anywhere. Nobody will listen to anybody if they don't know anything about you. That's why you hear about people. That's why you hear about bad things happen to people. You're like, oh, that's terrible. But if
Hmm.
you know the person, it's like it's a different terrible. Then it's like, oh wow, oh I hope they're all right. So that's the same thing with kids. They don't know anything about you. They just see you as a teacher. They come in every day and leave out. That's who you're gonna be. They have no reason to listen to you. I wouldn't listen to you either. So that's one of the things I kind of explained. So here we go. Preparing at-risk children to be functional members of society requires adults to teach discipline, structure, and then education. So I put education at the end because education is not what matters when you're teaching kids that come from disadvantaged communities. Education is the last thing they thinking about. I'm introducing a new way to get kids to learn, and it don't start with education. It start with let me read. Adults should strive to address behaviors and come to a solution to manage young people more effectively. In turn, the fewer behaviors young people display, the more concentrated and attentive they will be, and the more one-on-one time will be available to work with them. When young people feel their needs are being addressed or at least talked about, they're more open and trusting and willing to listen to what adults have to say. You have to build rapport with children, just like you have to with adults, for them to trust and open up to you. This is when you emphasize how obtaining an education will assist them in bettering themselves and their families in the future. So, kids, children, when they come in, they don't. You are just a human to them. You are nobody. They know nothing about you. So if you want to start talking about math, science, and social studies, I'm not. I don't want to listen either. Who are you? You haven't talked to them about. You haven't asked them what's their names. You haven't asked them what they like to do for fun, and that's not enough. You haven't got a moment to know. You haven't stopped them in the middle of them doing an assignment. Tell them to step out of the classroom real quick and say, "I like how you doing that. You must got good sleep this morning." Just play with them, interact with them. That's what I do. That's why I have a great time with the kids. And it's like most teachers, they come in, they do their job, and they leave. Well, while they might feel good to you, well, that might be easy to you. You can go make your job harder tomorrow because they're gonna curse you out tomorrow or throw something at you tomorrow, or try to fight you tomorrow because they have no reason to like you because they don't know you. They just know you throwing them papers every day. So I say to help kids from sociologically disadvantaged areas or poverty-stricken neighborhoods. Me coming from one, I face so many problems every day when I'm not at school. School's the last thing on my mind. But when I get to school, if I had somebody that cared about me, even act like you cared about me, or even one that even heard me tell my story, and even if you couldn't do nothing about it, just let me talk about it. I feel a lot better, and I'd be open to listening and taking in whatever you got to tell me because you listen. Even if you couldn't help me that much, or you gave me a little help, I'm open because that teacher listened or they understood me. So this is a concept I try to express to teachers, help them get through, have a better experience teaching, trying to teach these kids. But that's that's
Amen.
that's one part of the book. My main part is getting those guys ready for the world, to not be another 15, 16, 17-year-old killing out here. So, and when that young guy asks a police officer like that, you well on your way. When you ask him questions like that, you well on your way to a statistic. Asking questions like that because you think it's a game right now. Think it's a cat and mouse game. Like, and I gotta stop it. And that's why I said a lot of young guys, they think I'm pretty cool. I'm not cool, man. I'm just telling you how I feel, and it comes out cool. Whatever, it don't matter to me. But I feel like I can relate to them a lot, and they need to listen. And I don't tell them that's bad. You do this. I say it in a subtle way because also kids want to be able to not be treated like they you own them or something. I give them time to think. I was like, I give them time to think. I'm like, look, man, you can make all the mistakes you want to, but just let me tell you this little story real quick, and you do what you want to with it. That's what I do. I'm trying to tell you not to do stuff, but I'm gonna let you run with it. You just think about it. You let me know how you feel. That's what
Exactly.
I do with them.
Yeah, amen. Amen. You have some great methods. I'm telling you, I pray that those that are tuned in are being blessed. Those that will catch the replay,
It's a
I pray
replay.
that they will be blessed. The links are posted in the comment section. We have his Facebook page. There's a link to your podcast. Is that your podcast?
That's just my page where you can book me to speak, where you can buy the
This
book,
link
or you can
here.
follow all my the Adobe. Yeah, that's where it's just my page. It explains a little bit more about me and why I wrote the book. It's my page to get the book, but it talks about me and how I got there and other ways to reach me, all my other social media links. So that's what that page does.
Okay,
That's
so
everything. Yeah, it
if you
has my
go
Instagram,
to the
Twitter, and
link that's posted,
yeah. If you go to the
okay.
link that's
So if
posted,
they visit,
they can visit that link. They can get the book. They can see, read a little bit more about me and have access to all my other social media.
amen, amen,
Yeah.
amen.
Yeah.
So I want to thank you for coming on today. I tell you, I definitely have been inspired. A lot of people don't know this about me, but what started me into doing what I'm doing now was because of the youth. I used to run a youth organization. I used to work with kids, an after school program, and during the summer. Um, and I definitely can relate to a lot of the things that you were talking about. Um, and a lot of the things they start at home. Parents got to pour into their kids if they're expected to get something out of them. We can't just expect the kids to grow up. We have to put
Mm-hmm.
something in them so that they can be productive citizens, and not only productive citizens, but they can be productive youth. They can
Mm-hmm.
do things now. One of the things that we instilled in our youth were you didn't have to wait till you was an adult to be successful. You can be successful now. I pushed the E3 experience on them, and it was to educate, empower, and encourage them to walk in their purpose now, not later. Now, so I thank you for coming on. I tell you, I have been inspired. I pray that those that are tuning in and that will catch the replay will be inspired. Please visit his links. Purchase a copy of the book. If you have a youth in your life or anyone that needs encouraging and needs a little direction, this book can well get them on a path to being a successful, productive, brown skinned person in this world. So I want to thank you, Emanuel Grimes, for coming on today and sharing with us. Is there anything encouraging that you would like to leave with the listeners on today?
Well, I'm going to emphasize something else you said. Like, it is a book that can encourage you to be productive, better citizens in life. It makes them out of themselves. It goes through all the aspects of how to do that too. But this book is also for people that don't understand Black people or Black youth. If you want to get an understanding of our experience so you can relate to them more, this book is for you. If all the protests and all the unrest going on, you don't understand why we're doing it, this book will help you understand why. It'll show you the obstacles and the mountains we got to climb just to get a little bit of anything. You know, it'll show you the struggles we go through and how it's unfair, how some people live, where it'll show you how some of these criminal guys got to where they at. It'll show you why some of the distrust starts really early, from 3, 4, 5, 6 teenage years. That's what the distrust of the police starts so young. That's why you see these grown men acting like they do. Sometimes they scared the police because they've been suffering from being falsely accused and injured and beat because they was teenagers. You know, it tells you, explains to you what really goes on and how some of these Black men get there. Some of it is not their fault. So this book is for almost everybody. Especially during this time, you know somebody, if you know some teachers that need to understand their students more, this book is for them. If you are a person of a different color that don't understand Black people, this book is for you. This book will mend the size and it'll help you come to a medium and be more understanding about the Black experience.
Amen.
Oh, and
Amen. Go
encouraging
ahead.
words. Encouraging words. I would say, encourage somebody to get this book because this book will help a lot of people out. It helped me out, and I'm reading it again. I'm going back through it and just thinking. I'm just thinking how I could, even on my own information, how I could even add to my own information. So yeah, helping it.
Amen. Amen.
Yeah.
So as you are viewing this video, I urge you to share it with someone that you think may be encouraged by this book so that they can get this link and purchase this book. So please share the video, do a watch party, encourage your friends to tune in and be blessed because I tell you, I definitely have been blessed. I want to thank you, Emmanuel, for coming on and sharing just a little bit about who you are and sharing your book with us. I thank you.
You're welcome. I appreciate you for hosting me. And I always get like this. I be trying not to, and I always get to just going. But I guess I like it, but I just it always
It's a
happen.
passion. When you're passionate about what you're doing, it definitely shows, and it shows. And I applaud you for what you're doing. Keep pressing, and I pray much success over your life.
Okay, thank you. Much success to you too.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So you have been tuned in to Up Close and Personal with Angela. I am your host, Angela Thomas Smith, on behalf of Aspiring Authors Magazine. We had author Emmanuel Grimes on today. He was sharing his book, The Black um, guys manual. Please, I urge you to share this video with those that could possibly benefit from this video. I want to thank you for tuning in to Up Close and Personal with Emanuel. I will be back at the 1 o'clock hour with TB Darks, author TB Darks. She will be sharing her journey in becoming an author. So I'll see you back at the 1 o'clock hour. If you have not pre-ordered your copy of July's magazine, go ahead and get your copy ordered. The magazine is set to release between July 25th and July 31st of each month. Um, so please get your orders in. If you are an author or a poet and you're interested in being featured inside of the magazine, please reach out to me, DM me, and we can get you signed up and get you in the magazine. The deadline was today, but we are extending it until Saturday. So those that are interested, please reach out and reserve your space to be a part of July's issue of the magazine. I want to thank you guys for tuning in. I'll see you back at 1 o'clock.